各位新闻网网友，大家好，我是记者九令。今天很荣幸邀请到大都会警察局总警长 Lombardo， 他作为共和党的候选人，将参加今年11月内华达州州长的竞选。Good afternoon, Sheriff Lombardo.
Good afternoon.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you for taking the time today.
I'm excited about the interview.
Thank you.
Good.
So let's start the interview.
Okay.
So first of all, please talk about your intention of running for governor this time.
So you're asking why?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple reasons. One is I'm at the end of my second term as sheriff, right? So I needed to make a decision whether I was going to run for sheriff or not. And then a couple of things happened in the state of Nevada. One is Sisolak got elected. We had a COVID occur, and Sisolak's response to the COVID, and then Sisolak's management of the state overall. I believe he's done a very poor job associated with the departments that the state is responsible for, in particular the DETR, DMV, the Department of Insurance, Department of Labor. All those things have been mismanaged, to include the Nevada State Patrol. They call it the Nevada State Police now instead of the Highway Patrol. They have a major vacancy factor, to include the Nevada State prisons. They have a vacancy factor. So there's a lot of things in the state responsibility that Sisolak has failed to address, and it continues to get worse. And I know I can do a better job. So I made the decision to run for governor based on all the totality of all those different factors.
You intend to further serve the public and protect the entire state of Nevada.
Exactly. It's a continuance of service, and it's a lot more than just protection, because the state is responsible for a lot of different services. You know, I listed some of them: DMV and unemployment insurance and infrastructure and the environment and the education and law enforcement. So it's a matter of all those items that I think need to be addressed to be successful into the future.
Yeah, it is so true. Nevada is in crisis.
Yeah.
We do need a leader who has the guts to turn this around.
Right, and I haven't seen any plans brought forward in the last 4 years by the governor to address all those issues. And so I asked the public, what would you expect different in the next 4 years if you choose to vote for Steve Sisolak and if he has the ability to be reelected? I just don't see any positive aspects of that.
Yeah, it has been a disaster.
Yeah.
So we know that you have been.
I'm glad you used the word disaster, not me.
Of course not you. We know that you have been sheriff for over 7 years and have a good understanding of Nevada, especially Cobb County. And if you are elected governor, what do you think will be the first problem that state of Nevada needs to be taken care?
Education system. So, you know, when Steve Sisolak got elected, education was ranked 49th. 4 years later, education was ranked 49th in the nation. And that's unacceptable. He quite often touts as he was able to give the teachers a raise, and that's a good thing. But there's a lot more to the education system than just giving teachers a raise. There has to be a management of the overall curriculum, the delivery systems, whether parents have a choice for which schools that their kids are able to go to. And, you know, the school boards are in disarray, and I believe they're ill-qualified and mismanage the budget and the direction and the curriculum associated with the different school districts across the state, all 17 counties. And no direction has been provided from the governor's office via the Department of Education in that. So how can we be successful? And quite often you hear about Clark County School District is what drives down the numbers and the qualification of our kids to have a career or prepare them to go to college. And none of those questions have been answered. And I don't see any change in the future. So first priority, and the most important priority for the success of any economy and any quality of life, is somebody to be able to sustain the quality of life for themselves and their family, and that's done through education. And so we have to change that, or we're going to continue to be stuck in the quagmire that we are currently in.
I couldn't agree more.
So.
Because you have been the sheriff for a long time and you have a certain approach to maintaining community security. But the current inflation problem is serious and will also affect the unemployment rate. How can you help Nevada to improve the economic development?
Well, that's an expansion of the economy, right? If you pay people good wages, they can fight inflation. You know, inflation is a result of what's taking place out of the federal government in Washington, D.C., and it's the the distribution, the printing of money to address the COVID pandemic and inequality in the economy. But the answer is not printing money, because that creates inflation, right? Which drives up the interest rates, and it makes you unable to qualify for a car loan or a home loan and everything that goes along with it. They all have to work together for success. And what can the governor do in that space is, one is he can provide stimulus for the constituents of the states. In other words, you can defer vehicle registration, you can have a tax holiday, all those things that people deal with on a daily basis that affect their lives. But more importantly, how do you solve it in totality until the federal government gets their act together is you have to expand upon the economy. And how do you expand upon the economy? You bring in good jobs, good paying jobs, so people can combat inflation.
That's very true. So the next Nevada governor will be elected in early November. And what do you think of your election, and how do you think of your opponents?
Well, we're going to win, so I'm very confident in saying that we're going to win. You know, because the polling data says so, and my campaign team that goes out on every weekend, up both north and south, and meeting with the voters on a regular basis, and my travels during the campaign process. The proof is in the pudding. When you talk to the people, they say who they're going to support. They say the reasons why, because they don't see any vision or leadership currently from the current governor, and they believe I can bring that. And that is because of what they have experienced from me in the last 8 years as their sheriff here in Clark County, dealing with crisis, providing answers to problems, and ensure that we have a plan going forward.
I'm sure you're confident about running the governor.
Yeah.
I wish you the very best.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.